Hello, my name is Isabella Cervantes. I am from the United States and a member of the Aerospace and Innovation Academy. I'll be presenting on empowering the next generation of space explorers through classical education.
You can press on the laptop.
So the agenda for my presentation is I will begin with the motivation, a history of the classical education, its philosophical foundations, an overview of the curriculum, its timeless teaching methods, its future application to space, a reference study, and conclusion. Throughout the ages, mankind has tried to understand the complexities of the universe, pushing the boundaries of what is conceivable. The pursuit of what is true, good, and beautiful, whether done knowingly or unknowingly, is the drive of the human heart. Human history has been moving forward, following its human curiosity to understand why and how. In the present era, the new frontier of exploration is space. Establishing a spacefaring civilization is more than just a technological feat. It is a continuation of the human legacy. Classical education equips future space explorers with the essential skills beyond STEM: leadership, adaptability, ethics, and critical thinking. The classical method has been curated over thousands of years. Its origins are a legacy of the Greek and Roman civilization. In 146 BC, the Romans took over Greece. They have recognized the great value of Greek culture and implemented it into their empire. Scholarly monks in the Middle Ages synthesized Greco-Roman education with Judeo-Christian philosophy. This was the basis of education up until the 1900s. The modern education system emerged during the Industrial Revolution and was later curated by post-World War II reforms. This shift towards industrialization demanded a disciplined rote workforce. This gave rise to the industrial era education model, which focuses on STEM and standardized testing, designed to develop a workforce for technological and merited advancements, prioritizing efficiency over holistic learning. Throughout cultures all around the world, there is a drive for what is true, good, and beautiful. The concept of truth, goodness, and beauty comes from Plato's Republic and is fleshed out in Aristotle's Nicomachean Ethics. Plato's idea of this concept stemmed from his theory of forms. He believed that there was a higher realm of reality in which the perfected versions of truth, goodness, and beauty lay, and that the material world was simply a reflection of this reality. When individuals contemplate these higher ideals, they will grow to inspire and embody them. Aristotelian philosophy is rooted in practical wisdom. Aristotle taught that truth correlates with knowledge and understanding gained through experiences of reality and logical reasoning. Goodness is found in ethics and in living a virtuous lifestyle. This is the highest form of good because it aligns with the natural law. Beauty is the harmony, order, and design of the natural realm. This image is a 12th century illuminated manuscript that illustrates the 7 liberal arts of the trivium and quadrivium circled around Socrates, Plato, and philosophy, which makes up the whole of the classical curriculum. The trivium is known as the 3 ways of learning. It focuses on learning the essential skills of learning. These stages align with the 3 developmental stages of a child's life: grammar, logic, and rhetoric. The trivium instructs a person in the art of critical thinking and effective communication. In the grammar stage, which is kindergarten through 6th grade, is when the essential building blocks of knowledge are taught: language, memorization, basic arithmetic, and fundamental facts of the natural world. In this stage, children learn how to apply this knowledge to the physical and mathematical realm. The logic stage, which is also known as the dialectic stage, is from 6th to 9th grade. Children now have enough facts to begin to develop the ability to analyze, question, and assess information, which empowers them to reason logically. They begin to apply the scientific method to create hypotheses, conduct experiments, analyze data, and draw logical conclusions. With the foundational skills of learning and critical thinking having already been cultured, students are now able to explore the sciences more thoroughly. Rhetoric is from 9th grade and beyond. It focuses on the skills to articulate complex ideas in a clear and effective manner through leadership, writing, speech, and debate. These skills are essential when elucidating scientific and mathematical concepts. There's a great emphasis on rhetoric in the classical education because its fundamentals in persuasive speaking and effective communication, which coincidentally are essential for space missions involving multicultural collaboration. The quadrivium is known as the 4 ways of knowing. It prioritizes learning the content of knowledge, which is traditionally categorized into arithmetic, geometry, astronomy, and music. The quadrivium imparts the intellectual skills needed to comprehend the physical and mathematical structures of reality. To cultivate the characteristics space explorers need, the classical education offers time-tested methods to sharpen memory, deepen inquiry, and build intellectual resilience. Memorization, repetition, and mastery. Memorization, built upon in the grammar stage, creates an intellectual framework upon which more advanced concepts can be learned and utilized later. The Socratic Circle is a student-led open discussion exploring material. It focuses on asking deep questions and challenging assumptions. Dialectic methods teach individuals to question and cross-examine everything that is heard or read. Reading and emulating the classics. There is a reason classics remain timeless. They hold some moral truth to them that remains relevant through the passing of time. Engaging directly with rich texts aids in the development of writing styles and exposes the mind to the works of great thinkers. Space explorers represent the best of humanity and transcend math and science. This vocation requires intellectual agility and resilience in a versatile and evolving space environment. Isolation and the challenges of living in space demand that an explorer be mentally and physically capable. Classical education is a broad and vigorous curriculum that prepares for rigorous and broad issues inevitably faced in space. If the space station is any indication, future space societies will be an international coalition. They will need to communicate through linguistic and cultural barriers. The classical model helps students to learn Latin and Greek, which have core fundamentals in the spoken languages. Human nature does not change, and those who do not understand history are bound to repeat it. The next generation of space explorers will need to embody the virtues and ethics that have withstood the test of time. The virtues should be used as a cultural framework for space civilization. Classical education develops moral reasoning through the 4 cardinal virtues of Aristotelian philosophy: prudence, justice, fortitude, and temperance. They are called cardinal because all other virtues hinge upon them. The Latin root word for the word cardinal, cardo, means hinge. These 4 cardinal virtues instruct individuals in responsibility, moral reasoning, and civic virtue, which are all critical components of governance in future space settlements. Virtues are learned through stories found in history and literature. They are found in tales from cultures all around the world because they align with the human heart's desire for what is true, good, and beautiful. Many pioneers of the early scientific and mathematical fields were classically educated. For example, Isaac Newton studied Aristotelian logic, rhetoric, and ethics, and many others explored the realms of science were classically educated. 12th century leaders of the scientific and mathematical fields have core elements of the classical education. Steve Jobs said this about calligraphy, quote, "It was beautiful, historical, artistically subtle, in a way that science can't capture, and I found it fascinating," end quote. He believed that this was a core element of Apple's design products. Elon Musk said that reading science fiction classics and reading biographies changed his life. Mark Zuckerberg wrote on his college application that he could read and write in ancient Greek and Latin among other languages. The U.S. Department of Education published a study on classical education. This study found that in the state of Tennessee, Nashville's classical school had significantly higher proficiency rates in ELA, English Language Arts, and math compared to the other public schools in the area, regardless of socioeconomic background. This statistic suggests that solid critical thinking and problem-solving skills taught in the classical education help students compete in competitive fields such as STEM. In the conclusion of this study, it stated, quote, classical schools are capable of transforming students from diverse backgrounds into scholars, citizens, prepared for modern problems via a knowledge rooted in timeless tradition. Space explorers represent the best of humanity and transcend math and science. It is a continuation of the human history. Classical education ensures that future space explorers are not only scientists and engineers, but true leaders and visionaries who will sustain the human legacy beyond the home planet of Earth. The human legacy can be summed up as the pursuit of truth, goodness, and beauty. The classical education is the rich soil where STEM embeds its roots, flourishing into the flower of wisdom and innovation. The classical education is a lifelong journey. It only takes the ability to read and the desire for wisdom. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, so the talk is open for questions, comments, queries.
Hello, thank you for your presentation. I have two questions. First, what do you think is the biggest loss in education with the industrialization of education? And what is your ideal as a society for education as a society?
I think what's been lost in education, specifically Western education, because that is where I'm from, is that we are losing how to teach children and teach individuals how to think and how to learn, like giving them the tools of learning rather than simply imparting knowledge. I think that wisdom and knowledge they need each other. You cannot have one without the other. And wisdom allows you to use the knowledge you had in an ethical way that is good for yourself and for society. Can you repeat the second question?
My second question was, what's your ideal for education?
My ideal is the classical education because it's rooted in timeless truths that are universal and can be adapted to any culture anywhere.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Any questions? Yeah.
Yes. How about non-Aristotelian general semantics?
Can you repeat that? Sorry.
General semantics.
General semantics.
Non-Aristotelian thinking, like the movie by Jean-Luc Godard, Goodbye Language.
I'm sorry, I'm familiar with that.
Semantics.
General semantics, Van Vogt and so on.
Semantic.
What?
General semantic.
I'm
Not familiar.
I'll have to do research on that. I'm not sure.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else? So may I? So I think what I understand from your talk is that the teaching which we are now imparting, particularly towards what you call as STEM, it should be rather more of how do you think, how do you learn, right? So that you don't go into routine classical or the current way of teaching, rather than it should be driven by your own experiences as you go, right? That's what you're trying to say in the classical education?
I'm trying to say that we should be teaching the tools of learning, which can be used in all sorts of area of academics and in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And that's why you're trying to say from grade 6 to grade 9, then and beyond, and lower than that, there are 3 categories which you're trying to show up, right?
The 3 categories I was trying to show is grammar, logic, and rhetoric, which align with the 3 developmental stages of a child's life. So the grammar stage is, if you've seen a kindergarten through in that age, they just want to learn facts. You know, they want to know the world around them, and so this is the perfect time to teach them that. And so when they get a little older in the logic stage, they're now thinking, well, how does this apply to me? What is my place in the world? And so they begin to develop. This is the perfect time to begin to develop critical thinking and logical skills. Like geometry is perfect because you have all these geometrical proofs, which is fantastic for that stage in the mind. And then rhetoric is when you critically think about things and you present things and you debate things and you really form your mind. And that's something that you begins when you're in 9th grade around that time, and you stay like that for the rest of your life.
Can you just go back to that slide there? It's very interesting.
This
Yeah.
one?
Okay. Right. And then you say in 4, 5, 6, and 7, you choose any one of them and try to excel.
They are all taught. So the 4 ways of knowledge, the quadrivium, are taught through the 3 ways of learning. So those 4 subjects, which are the ones that the Greeks and Romans, this is the ones that they used, they are taught in each of those levels at that certain minds those levels.
Okay. Great. Thank you. Okay, so I think this brings to the end of our session on